and it has changed many things in my life. This started with the Vedic chanting training I was doing before, and now I started teaching yoga therapy groups in the institution I work now, which is in Lausanne, who is a psychiatry and psychology institution. 250 people are working there, almost 150 or 200 therapists, psychologists and psychiatrists, and I am having a group, 10 sequences, 6 to 10 people maximum, and I will do that 3 times a year. So this has already started, and a second group of yoga practice, but it will be inspired by the yoga therapy program, will start in March. So it has changed many things, and of course, last but not least, it changes a lot of things for myself. I feel already better. It's not perfect. I still have my old problems or my old resistances, but I'm definitely much better, happier, quieter, and I see things more clearly. Yeah, I think that this time is needed. I would like to say no, make it shorter. My dream would be that it was going for 1 month on a stretch, but I recognize that would be very tiring and very complicated, and I think you need that span of time, because you come for 15 days, then you have some time to reflect, to integrate what has been taught and given, and some work to do also, and then you come back for the next session and so on. Well, this tradition is unique. That's why I feel since the beginning. I've been a long-term student in this tradition because I was very fortunate. When I started yoga, I went to see 4 or 5 yoga teachers in Paris. I'm from France originally, and I picked up one lady who was from this tradition. It was, I don't know, my destiny or luck. And then very quickly I came to India and started studying with Sir Desikachar after some time, and his wife Menaka. And I have been going once in a while to other type of yoga classes, seminars in Europe, especially that I had a period where I could not come to India. And really, I always came back. The uniqueness is that it is very deep. It uses all the tools. It covers all the tools. Most of the schools cover only some tools, asanas, practice, or most of them neglect pranayama, and they neglect breathing in the posture. Almost all of them neglect mantra and chanting. So of course it is unique. And the yoga therapy training is going in the same direction, so it's complete. The group experience for me is a challenge. First, I don't like big groups very much, and the group is very, very huge. Well, for me, it's 30 people or something like that. And I was taught in the beginning, in those days, almost solely on one-to-one. The only groups I went were for my yoga teacher training program, and sometimes some seminars. But here in India, I only had one-to-one classes. And so I'm used to that, and it goes with a part of my personality, that I like to have 2 or 3 people to be able to talk. I never was a band or a group person. So the group experience is a challenge, because when I am in a group, I feel a little too overconscious. I'm shy. And so I have a tendency to withdraw and to have a lot of bad thoughts like, oh, he's doing better than me, or he's liked better than me, or I wanted to talk to that person and she didn't talk to me. It always comes. But doing this group experience is a real challenge. I'm getting better in that respect because of the training, because of the group, because there are some people I'm close to in the group. So, and I also like observing. I'm a psychiatrist, so my job is to observe, to talk with people, and the group helps me to not only withdraw, but withdraw to observe, stay on the side and look what's going on. And I'm learning a lot of around group dynamics. Oh yes, I really do believe that. I've been practicing as a psychiatrist since 1995 now. So I've got quite a lot of experience. I worked in many institutions. I had a private practice. Now I went to Switzerland to work and have another experience. And the more I'm going, the more I'm evolving myself, I realize that now what I want to do is to teach yoga, help with yoga therapy. A lot of my patients are interested, in fact. I discovered that. I haven't been in Switzerland for such a long time, beginning of 2017, and people are interested. They come to the group. The group is full. The first was not full, but the second one is already full. So I think it's great because it gives another dimension. I'm used to the talking cure, what we call the talking cure, and it's really great. I've become, I think, quite good at it, and I know, but something is missing. Something is always missing because in that kind of therapy, you have a kind of dependency on your therapist. You have to come and see the therapist to get the exchange. With yoga and all the tools we use in yoga therapy, you are giving people tools that will help them to self-empower, as we are taught, themselves. And this is the most important thing. I always did yoga. I always practiced yoga, and I had a therapist for many years, and I was doing both, and I realized that this was the real balance for me. And so that's what I want to do, and of course I think it's great. It opens dimensions that therapy alone, psychotherapy alone, never opens. The quality is really, really good. I have known, as I said, the family and the tradition for a long, long time, since 1980 or 81, the first time I came to India to study yoga, which was my aim always. And then I studied with Sir. I was privileged, and his wife Menaka. She taught me chanting and practice, and Sir taught me the Yoga Sutra. And he did therapy, even if he didn't call it like that at the time. And then I had that gap and I could not come. And when I started coming back, Sir was not teaching anymore. And so I first took classes with Menaka Madam, because I've known her for many years. And I decided to attend a seminar with Kausthub, Desikachar. There was also Giavi Sir. And this was so great. It was called Udgata, the power of prana. And then I understood that the tradition was alive. You see, what I like is that Sir Desikachar made the tradition evolve from what Krishnamacharya already was teaching and had also made evolve. And Kausthub is doing exactly the same. He's evolving. And what I like, it's not dead. The tendency is to be a stickler to the tradition. And in fact, if you are always teaching the same things, it cannot adapt to the flow of change of life. So I love the teaching. And last, this teaching is clarifying many things for me. Because, as I said, I was doing only one-to-one classes, and I was catching bits. I was not a yoga teacher, only on the side. And so I was catching bits. And with this, all seems to fit into the pattern that I didn't see before. So it's amazing. Well, I think it's really helping me to clarify myself and to be more peaceful. It's not perfect. I'm a very anxious person. I have the tendency to run through things and to be quick, but to have the drawbacks of being quick, too quick sometimes. And this helps me to focus. And if I focus, then I can help the people better, because I will grasp what they are telling me more quickly, but more calmly, with more distance, the good distance, the good look. So it helps me to look, it helps me to focus, and it helps me to answer. And it's helping me also to be more optimistic, because in my field, you only hear the problems of the people. And some of the problems are really terrible. Some are not that terrible, but they are causing so much pain, so much dukkha. And you feel that. In fact, a big part of my job is absorbing that and taking it from the people, but I have to deal with it. So it is really helping me to do that in a more stable position without drinking everything and not knowing what to do with it, and then getting confused. I would recommend this program to yoga teachers on one hand, because I think that yoga teachers very often are doing therapy after some time. Except if we are doing big group classes, quite, the asana practice with 20 people, and you don't, but usually it doesn't happen like that. You develop a connection with your students, and they are going to ask you for advice. And of course, I will really recommend the program, because I think many yoga teachers are not fit to get all this emotional revolution, from other people. They don't know what to do, and they don't know how to digest it. In my field, I had learned to digest it, and this has helped me to digest it much better. So I will definitely recommend that to yoga teacher. It's a complementary training that would really help them to be better yoga teachers. And I will recommend that to psychotherapists, of course, because of what I said before, because it helps you to be more stable, to clarify yourself, to be stronger, to deal better with what is going on, to have a clearer view, and also because you can give tools to your patients, which therapy doesn't help you to give, doesn't give you the means to give. But there will be a slight problem with psychotherapists, is that I think that to go to this type of training, you have to be really interested in yoga. And so first you have to understand what yoga is a little, to practice a little. I don't say that you have to become a yoga teacher or practice for years. And this interest is not always there on the part of psychotherapists. Some schools of psychotherapy are more open, and some are more closed, because it comes from a very different background and culture, which is the Western German culture, and because it came with Sigmund Freud, and people can be quite conservative and think that this intellectual thought will be enough. So this will be one problem. But in the institution I'm working in, they are interested in yoga, and they have asked me to make groups, it's not yet settled, for the people who work there. And I hope that teaching yoga classes, asana practice with pranayama, and maybe a little chanting to the people who work there will be the subtle way to help them manifest an interest, understand, practice, because it's a practice, be it asana, pranayama, or mantra and chant. If you practice it, you feel the benefits quite quickly.